Hello and welcome, Namaskar. You're watching our special coverage. It is now being called the war game to beat all war games, the Mahabattle of Maharashtra. The polling is over. Rahul, me, Preeti are going to look at what we call war games and plot various scenarios and tell you what's most likely to happen when the counting begins on the 23rd. It's going to be fascinating because you're going to get all kinds of scenarios and probabilities that will give you a real sense of what's going to happen come counting day on Saturday.
This has been one of the most fiercely contested elections in Maharashtra. Also a tight battle in Jharkhand. So we'll run some scenario analysis and give you a sense of what is likely to happen rather than put out just the exit poll numbers and bank entirely on them. We'll be showing you what the poll numbers are saying, but also trying to give you a sense of how the counting day results may actually end up. So all that and more coming up over the next 3 hours right here on India Today. Let's introduce you to our guests. I want to introduce Amitabh Tiwari joins us, Preeti Chaudhary is with us, we've got Sheila Bhatt with us, leaders from different political parties will be joining us. So what we'll do is take scenario number 1. And remember, in Maharashtra, of the polls that we've seen so far, most seem to be suggesting that the Mahayuti is likely to win and cross the 145 number. So we'll spend a moment trying to understand why this is likely to happen, and if the Mahayuti does cross that magical figure, what are the factors that could probably lead it to crossing the 145 mark. So this is battlefield Maharashtra. As you can see, the Maratha warriors are daggers drawn. Eknath Shinde on the one side leading the Mahayuti versus Uddhav Thackeray and the Maha Vikas Aghadi. So in scenario 1, we're modeling the prospect of the Mahayuti crossing the 145 figure, a clear, decisive victory for the NDA. And if this happens, you know, Eknath Shinde came up with the Ladki Behan scheme modeled on the Ladli Behan Yojana of Shivraj Singh Chauhan in Madhya Pradesh. In all the data that's come out so far, more than 40% of the voters have said that this is the one scheme that's registered most strongly with them. So that would be one of the big reasons if this goes through. Also, the NDA's performance in urban Maharashtra, also a state urbanizing more rapidly than other parts of the country, would be another big reason for the Mahayuti doing well and getting more than 140. The BJP managing to contain damage in Marathwada, in Vidarbha, being able to deal with agrarian distress, being able to deal with the issue of Maratha agitation would also be involved if the Mahayuti crosses the 140 figure. Then the fact that you've got these two other parties, the Shinde Sena and the Ajit Pawar NCP, both have to come to the party, both have to do well, not just the BJP, if the alliance is to cross the 145 figure. And then, remember, in the Lok Sabha elections, what we didn't see was good alliance chemistry, the inability to transfer votes from the NCP to the BJP because of the inorganic chemistry between voters, leaders and cadre. So if that changes in the Lok Sabha election, that would be important as well. So I'll show you two scenarios in terms of seat share projections. If this scenario actually comes out to be true and the Mahayuti gets 145 plus. So we worked with Amitabh Tiwari on these simulations. I'll show you scenario number 1. And remember, the base file over here is the Lok Sabha data because that's the only time that these parties have fought as an alliance. Remember, there were 4 parties earlier. Now you've got 2 additional parties, complicating any number crunching that happens for Maharashtra. So if the Maha Vikas Aghadi and the Mahayuti were to get 2.5% votes each, then, so the Mahayuti gets 2.5% more, the Maha Vikas Aghadi loses 2.5% from the Lok Sabha tally. If you look at just a simple conversion of Lok Sabha trends into assembly, in the Lok Sabha you had the Maha Vikas Aghadi at 153 out of 288 and the Mahayuti at 126 out of 288. If from that base file, the Maha Vikas Aghadi loses 2.5% and the Mahayuti gains 2.5%, then you've got the Mahayuti at 158 seats and the MVA slips to 21. If there is an even bigger swing in favor of the Mahayuti, as is being predicted by some of the polling agencies, if there's a 5% gain in favor of the Mahayuti, then the tally for the Mahayuti becomes even bigger. The Mahayuti tally then could go up to 193 and the Maha Vikas Aghadi could crash to 86. So Amitabh Tiwari, just try and explain these numbers. A 5% swing is massive. a 2.5% swing in favor of the Mahayuti also enough to see the Mahayuti home?
Yeah, because in the Lok Sabha election, while at the Lok Sabha level, the result was 30-17, if you look at the assembly leads, it was 153 and 126, the halfway mark being 145. So it was fairly close, 153 with Maha Vikas Aghadi and 126 with Mahayuti. Now, if there is a 2.5% swing in favor of the Mahayuti from Maha Vikas Aghadi, that is, if they are gaining at the expense of Maha Vikas Aghadi, and you have explained the reasons could be Ladli Bahin Yojana, you could be better coordination amongst the allies, etc., etc., then we have a scenario wherein the Mahayuti could cross the simple majority mark and win around 158 seats, and the Maha Vikas Aghadi at 120.
Rajdeep, you traveled a lot through Maharashtra. Did you see a perceptible vote share swing in favor of the Mahayuti anecdotally in your travels?
You know, I am terrified today. Having had 2024, the nightmare of Lok Sabha, then again what happened in Haryana. But look, I think if you look at the pure arithmetic, I can see where Amitabh is coming from. You had a Lok Sabha election, Rahul, where both the parties, roughly in percentage terms, were around the same percentage, marginal edge to the MVA there. The moment you get a swing in favor of the Mahayuti, naturally your numbers change dramatically. My only little small caveat, 2 or 3 caveats actually. Number one, I've been going through these numbers. There are 68 multipolar contests in Maharashtra. And when I say multipolar, I mean genuinely multipolar, where you have 3 to 4 candidates in the race. One of them could be independent, one of them is a rebel, one of them could be a smaller party. Now in those parties, can any pollster, even a swing? Remember, the swing could be concentrated on certain areas. Yeah. My belief, for example, is that much of the swing could be in urban areas. What happens in the rural pockets? So I think a uniform swing across a large state like Maharashtra is difficult to contemplate. Having said that, clearly as most of the polls are showing, Mahayuti has been able to course correct compared to Lok Sabha. 3 things happened. Eknath Shinde went in for an image correction, brought in these welfare schemes, put in the money out there, particularly directed at women, and the delivery was effective. So he managed to refurbish his image. I didn't hear anyone tell me, Pannas khoke, ekdam okay, in the manner that they said before the Lok Sabha. That's number one. The BJP got the RSS firmly on its side, worked hard in Vidarbha, pushed for sub-classification of Dalits, worked among non-Mahar Dalits, realizing we can't afford a Dalit Muslim consolidation, also attacked the Samvidhan narrative as a fake narrative. So the BJP also to some extent has got its act together. And Ajit Pawar, who perhaps in the Lok Sabha was floundering, has about 20 candidates who can win on their own, whichever party. So I think there are factors that you can explain why the Mahayuti could do very well in a Vidhan Sabha compared to a Lok Sabha, with the one worry that I have for them, which is soya bean. If there is one, onion was the big crop that affected the Mahayuti in the Lok Sabha. Soya bean could do to them in the Vidhan Sabha. There are 68 constituencies, Rahul, in Maharashtra where soya bean is a factor. And 2 days ago, Hindutva hotheads went and attacked Zarange Patil publicly. Big mistake. Because suddenly you're seeing, and I'm looking at some of the voter trends in Marathwada, they are coming out. And the reason they're coming out, I think, is Zarange Patil is the one leader I saw who both in Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha has retained his hold over his following.
But he also announced he's putting up candidates, so he'll support candidates, then change his mind. Lost some credibility as a result.
Doesn't matter.
He did lose some credibility.
No, he didn't. You see, I thought he had lost credibility. It's very interesting. He's a phenomenon. Any young Maratha, you mean, sir, to maza manus hai. To konacha manus nahi hai, to amcha manus hai. You see, actually it worked in his advantage. They thought he was being bought over by politicians. By withdrawing and saying, I'm going to do my own thing, they felt he's their man. Preeti, so don't underestimate the Zarange Patil factor.
You traveled through Maharashtra. Give everyone a sense of what you picked up.
You know, with Rajdeep, what he's saying, when you're talking about the Zarange factor, I interviewed him, just 3 days earlier before I came in, Rahul. He is hoping this will fall exactly the way 2024 Lok Sabha election holds. What is he saying? He's saying जो 24 में किया उससे बुरा करना. He is not saying कि बीजेपी को वोट करो या कांग्रेस को वोट करो. What's also very interesting, Rajdeep and Rahul, is that this time around there are both. There are Maratha candidates which have been given by the BJP in the same belt. So he's not attacking Eknath Shinde, but he's attacking Devendra Fadnavis. So it will be interesting, and if this scenario plays out, then that Maratha vote has gone. Number one. Number two, where Rajdeep speaks of the soya bean factor. It is the political crop this season. If there is a political crop, it's soya bean, especially in the Vidarbha Marathwada belt. The minute you go into the mandis, you can hear it. 4,800 rupees was the MSP, which was been fixed by the government to pick up the crop. That hasn't quite happened. Till even 3 days before polling, the crop wasn't picked up on MSP.
It was announced in September, and
exactly.
The farmers were
so
feeling
there is a fair
that they
amount
weren't
of anger.
benefiting from the MSP that had been announced. Yashwant Deshmukh of Sea Voter joins us. In a short while from now, we'll show you what their poll is saying, but at a broad stroke level, Yashwant, in Maharashtra, your teams have been crisscrossing the state. You want to give our viewers a sense of what is it that you've picked up about this poll in this battlefield of Maharashtra, Yashwant? Welcome.
Well, Maharashtra, I would still like to wait for more data to come. I mean, one thing is sure that Vidarbha and Marathwada are the two deciding regions, and these are the areas, Rahul, where in Lok Sabha election it was Congress versus the BJP, and the Congress actually scored big time. So we would still like to look into that set of data and come up with our analysis. But what it looks like so far is that among the Senas, largely speaking, Shinde has scored over Uddhav Thackeray in their bastions, if we may say so. And Pawar Senior has absolutely steamrolled, it seems like, over Ajit Pawar, largely speaking. It's narrowing down to the core areas of Vidarbha and Marathwada. And if the BJP can do enough damage control, what it went through in the Lok Sabha elections, which I know there would be a lot of parallels that would be drawn after Haryana elections, and Haryana was a complete harakiri by the Congress. Atma Hati Daste ki tarah se jaise unhone kam kiya, but unlike Haryana, there is not much of infighting as far as the Congress in Maharashtra is concerned. So I am still looking at that angle. However, one thing I want to say again, and we have always for the last 25 years in our association, Rahul, maintained that exit poll or any survey exercise starts and ends with the vote share projection. If you are not showing vote share and giving only seat share, I will not like to comment on that data. Anything has to start with
so
the
broadly,
vote share
I agree with you, and broadly from what you're saying, you're seeming to suggest that the Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP has done better than the Ajit Pawar faction of the NCP, and
Right.
you're suggesting that the Shinde Sena has done better than the Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray Sena, and that in the BJP versus Congress direct fights, and remember there's 69 direct fights between the BJP and the Congress, you're saying you're waiting for more data to come in before you can predict which way those fights have gone.
Exactly my point. Even though the initial trends show that the contest has closed in Vidarbha for sure, that it hasn't closed in so much in Marathwada. But in Vidarbha, definitely the contest is
Closed
much
in which
closer
direction?
than
Your base shows the Mahayuti in front or the Vikas Aghadi in front? Close depends on who's in front, फिर पीछे से आएगा ना?
Vikas Aghadi in front in Vidarbha, but it is closer than what was in Lok Sabha.
But Yashwant Deshmukh, will the Aghadi hold on to what it had in 2024 in Vidarbha? Because if it does so and does well, what you're saying in Western Maharashtra, that group puts the Aghadi ahead.
Well, definitely it's a contest to watch out for. Number one, that in the vote share, it is almost coming like a statistical tie at the state level at this point of time. But let me make it very clear, at the regional level, it is not at all tied. Every region is behaving like a separate state, and whichever party or the alliance is leading in that particular region is leading with a comfortable margin.
Rajdeep, spend a moment explaining to our viewers the complexity of Maharashtra, why this seems to have more been like a municipal or a panchayat election rather than a pan-state election with one narrative going across the
That's
state.
right. And I think your magic wall will show that also, because there are 6 regions effectively. I look at this as 6 state elections. There's Vidarbha, there's Marathwada, there's North Maharashtra, there's Western Maharashtra, there's Konkan, and there is Mumbai. Don't even identify them as one. Mumbai is very different from what happens in the Konkan. Broadly speaking, in the Lok Sabha, if you looked at it, the MVA did very well in Vidarbha, did very well in Marathwada, did reasonably well in Western Maharashtra. The Shiv Sena, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray did quite well in Mumbai. Konkan was the one area where the Shinde Sena made the gains. And you saw in North Maharashtra, because of the onion factor, the BJP being pulled back. Broadly, if I were to look at the primary contest, these 75 seats, direct fights between the Congress and BJP are mainly in Vidarbha and Marathwada. Agrarian, largely in the agrarian belt. We've seen the BJP do very well in Maharashtra in recent times in urban pockets. The more urban you go in Pune, in Mumbai, the BJP has tended to do better than it does in rural Maharashtra. Marathwada is a complicated region over the years because of the various OBC versus Maratha struggles, but I would say that there you've got all the players in the fight. If you're in Aurangabad, you'll have the Shiv Sena, UBT versus Shiv Sena, Shinde group. If you go into rural areas, you'll have BJP pockets, you'll have Sharad Pawar pockets, and you'll have pockets of the Congress. Then come to Western Maharashtra. This is where Ajit Pawar and Sharad Pawar are in direct contest in about 38 seats. So the Sharad Pawar versus Ajit Pawar direct contest 38. 50 seats direct contest is mainly between Shinde Sena, 49 actually, between Shinde Sena and the UBT Sena, mainly in the Konkan, some in North Maharashtra, few in Marathwada, and a large number also, of course, in and around Mumbai. I think those 88, 89 will decide. If anyone has to get a majority, someone has to pummel the other into submission. One party has to go down really badly. Either Ajit Pawar goes down badly, Uddhav Thackeray goes down badly, then you have a possibility of a majority. My sense is the Congress versus BJP, Rahul, is the tight fight. Because there you've got the BJP putting a lot of effort, but there the Congress has local leaders, local OBC leaders. Nana Patole, Sunil Kedar, all OBCs, all Kunbis. And in the Vidarbha region, we saw last time Dalit Muslim Kunbi consolidation. What do you call DMK?
Adivasi as well.
Add Adivasi and ADMK. Today, among the highest voter turnout was in Gadchiroli, which is, Adivasi country. I think if there is one region, Rahul, where I think the MVA has its best chance, it's Marathwada. Whatever could go wrong for the Mahayuti has gone wrong there. If there's one region where I think the Mahayuti is likely to make impressive gains this time, it's North Maharashtra, because the onion factor no longer exists. The BJP has strong bases there. But even there, you have Nandurbar with a large Adivasi population.
Adivasi factor
So
is
nothing
there.
in Maharashtra, is uniform.
Sure.
It's a seat by seat. Sheila Bhatt put it very well the other day on your show, Panchayat election. It was almost seat by seat when you went across Maharashtra, because rebels, independents, all play a major role. If Sharad Pawar defeats Ajit Pawar badly, as some polls suggest, then the Mahayuti has a tough time getting to the halfway mark. If Ajit Pawar can hold his own, Shinde can defeat Uddhav Thackeray, and BJP can make those recoveries, particularly in Vidarbha, and hold on to its urban strongholds. I think Mahayuti is in
Sheila
pole
Ben, what are
position.
you picking up?
So, Rahul, this election was very exciting for everybody. That goes without saying. France, Germany, England, all in the fray, and all three different areas and different issues. But I would say first thing first that we are sitting in Delhi, and at least I am a Delhi-based journalist, so I want to say that I don't know why it's a very strange thing that Congress led by Rahul Gandhi has one kind of a political strategy where Rahul himself does not participate in a state election in a big way, which we saw this time in Maharashtra, and I'm sure all of you will agree with that, which is a very big factor that given a choice, Narendra Modi would like to fight even participate in a panchayat election. But here is a leader who is at last made it, and after Bharat Jodo Yatra, and he is a leader of opposition. But that is a very big issue for me, that why MVA did not put its best foot forward together, all three factors. It's a very surprising thing for me, I think.
Okay.
And second very important thing, because in election, what is more important कि आपके voter booth पे गए कि नहीं. I think I see Mahayuti making best of the efforts and rather ferocious efforts. I think why Yogi went to Maharashtra, why एक है तो safe है, and why
Batenge to
Katenge, all that. Just to provoke and
charge up
their own constituency.
But you
So
see, Sheila, could that be a double-edged sword? Because, Lok Satta had a very interesting, the Marathi newspaper front page story yesterday. Maximum demand in Maharashtra was for Nitin Gadkari. Maximum demand by candidates. And they had candidates on record saying that we want Gadkari here. There is a belief that Yogi Adityanath may work, and this is why Maharashtra is complex, may work in an Aurangabad. Large Muslim population there, Yogi comes there, charges up the audience. But the backlash of that is then felt in other pockets. For example, in Marathwada, there is a consolidation that takes place. So, one size doesn't fit all in Maharashtra. It's very interesting. The Prime Minister in the middle of an election has gone for G20. He's chosen G20. He didn't campaign in the last days.
He didn't have an option. He has to go for G20.
Yeah,
Chosen means what?
No, in the sense that...
It's his obligation to go. He has to go.
If you see the last 3-4 days of a campaign, the BJP then brought in Nitin Gadkari and others as well. So I think the BJP has run a more cohesive campaign, not just relied on Mr. Modi this time. They've relied also a lot on their state leaders to pull their weight. It's been and I think for the Congress also, they've realized that, you can't, Rahul Gandhi waving Samvidhan didn't work for me in any part. I asked people out there, nobody was influenced by Samvidhan, but the moment you went into soybean, the moment you went into the price of a cooking oil box, you see the one thing, Ladki Bahin could be a winner. If these big numbers are there, that means Ladki Bahin has worked. But at Diwali time itself, Rahul, cooking oil price went up.
7 rupees.
So every woman you spoke to would have a but. I want Ladki Bahin great, but
Rajdeep, with what you say that, at least what I feel with this election, Marathwada, Vidarbha, it's an election of 3 C's, Rajdeep, because these are the, possibly the swing regions this election. Number one, I think crop is number one with what you said. Soya bean, cotton, number one on everyone's mind. Number two, I think caste, where you talk about Marathwada, this is where it was a double-edged sword, Rahul, where you spoke of Katenge to Batenge, because I'll give you an example, and I'll give you an anecdotal example. You have an Ashok Chavan whose daughter is fighting from Nanded. You go there, Ashok Chavan is also appealing to the Muslim vote, which he's got till now. But now, because there's 15% Muslim vote in the Marathwada region, he cannot go out and appeal, to what Yogi Adityanath is saying. Similarly, when you come down to Western Maharashtra, you have an Ajit Pawar who has to appeal to the Muslim vote. Therefore, they are publicly, on public platforms, decrying what Yogi Adityanath has said.
I want to go to Zafar Islam. Zafar bhai, what are the BJP's numbers saying? How confident are you that this battle is sunk? We saw some wildly varying polling data from different agencies, pollsters, pundits, strategists. What are your BJP internal numbers at the moment?
Well, we are going to win this election for sure. I remember, and you people have also tweeted it when on 5th of October, on the exit poll, I had said the same thing, that we are going to win the Haryana election. And I won't say that you ridiculed, but you were not willing to accept it. But today, then you were proven wrong on the 8th of October. Here again, whatever speculations and the permutation combination you guys are discussing, actually you will see that Bharatiya Janata Party and its alliance put together, Mahayuti will get 180 plus. It go beyond 200 comfortably as well. Because we have done work on the ground. We knew what exactly has gone wrong in 2024 election. We have addressed those concerns. We have addressed the gaps. And we have worked as a team, cohesive team, Mahayuti as a team. We have fought election in all the 288 seats, not only the seats allocated to us. And they also, likewise, they have also fought all the elections. So we have put in every effort to transfer each other's vote to the candidate. And we are very confident that we will win beyond 180 and it can go comfortably to 100. We will be not surprised if we get 200.
Okay, so you're hoping for a double century at the cricket pitch of the election Premier League.